Hey everybody, welcome back to Terrence Looks and Beyond, today with my review of Run by Cody Keplinger. This is a book that I read in December. I briefly mentioned it in my December wrap-up video, where I basically said that after a month's worth of somewhat underwhelming books, this was basically felt like it was sent by the angels of good literature to help me end off my year on a positive note. Run tells the story of two very different teenage girls living in the small Kentucky town of Mercy, basically feeling like they're never going to be able to escape from it. One of the girls, Bo Dickinson, feels this way because her family is just one long line of white trash, drug issues, alcohol issues, getting in trouble with the law issues family. They've been that way for so long that the entire town has a reputation against them. Everyone always says don't associate yourself with the Dickinsons because they'll just drag you down with them. And even though Bo is actually quite intelligent and kind, and she is generally a good person, she feels like she'll never be able to escape that legacy that's been laid out for her, and so she feels like she shouldn't even try to change people's minds about it. The other girl is Agnes Atwood, who's your quintessential, very nice, kind, good Christian girl. The only thing that separates her from the other townsfolk is that she was born blind, or at least with severely limited vision. There are a few times where she says that she can make out sort of formless, colorful blobs in the distance when it is light out, but if it's dark out, she's completely blind. She almost entirely just has to rely on her other senses, mainly just listening for people's voices and getting used to the way people walk and talk. Anyways, because of Agnes's blindness, almost nobody in the town believes that she's capable of, well, anything, really. They all think that she needs to have her hand held and be washed and be minded all the time because of her blindness. I mean, her parents don't even let her ride the bus on her own because they're scared that something's going to happen. Agnes has tried to just roll with it for a while, but now as she's coming closer to graduating school, she's getting really sick of it, and she really wishes that people would, realize that she is capable of doing shit on her own. After a few chance meetings, the two of them start to become really close friends, and they start to bond over their mutual desire to escape from this town and all the expectations it has for them. And at the beginning of the book, something happens in Bo's life that makes her want to just run away right now. So she grabs some money, she grabs her dog, and then she goes to Agnes and asks her to run away with her, and Agnes hums about it for a little bit, and then she leaves with Bo, and so that's how the book begins, is the two of them running away, and then as it goes on, it alternates between Bo's perspective of them fleeing the town, and Agnes's perspective, which is a flashback to them meeting and becoming friends and discovering all of this stuff about each other. I absolutely adored this book. I thought it was great to read. I really love the characters, and I love the way that they developed, because at the start of the book, Bo and Agnes are pretty much opposite to each other. Agnes is very light and soft and a bit of a pushover, and Bo comes off quite hard and quite edgy and very much a rebel compared to all the other God-fearing citizens of Mercy. When you have a book like this that has two different perspectives, you need to make sure that the characters' voices are really well defined, and this book does not disappoint in that area either. It really helps because it keeps continuity between the flashbacks and the present day stuff when they're running away. Even though they've undergone a lot of character development between the two time periods, you can still recognize them, you can recognize their motivations and their personalities and just the core of their being in just how they think about stuff and how they talk to each other. And we start to see Agnes start to pick up a bit of edge from Bo and start to lash out against her very overprotective parents, and we start to see Bo kind of open up and reveal the secrets about her own life and start to gain a little bit of hope about actually getting out of the town thanks to hanging out around Agnes. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the representation in here. As I mentioned before, Agnes is blind, so is Cody Keplinger, and so this is an own voices book. Almost everything that Agnes experiences because of her disability is the kind of stuff that Cody Keplinger would have gone through as well, and so it's great reading an own voices book because you know you're getting authentic experience. And speaking of own voices stuff, Cody Keplinger is also queer, and so is Bo. So once again, you have an authentic experience. I mean, it really doesn't impact the plot at all, the fact that Bo is bisexual, she labels herself in the book, and it's really nice again to see an authentic representation of bisexual people, of queer people in this book, and coming from a person who is from those groups just makes it all that much better to read. Now, while reading this, there was one thing that I wasn't super sure of, and that was the fact that Agnes's chapters seemed a lot more broader in scope compared to Bo's, and that's probably because Bo's chapters only take place across a week or so, whereas Agnes's chapters cover an entire school year almost, so there's a lot more stuff happening in Agnes's chapters. But by the end, I really didn't have an issue with that because you can see them developing on both sides of perspective, and they both get equal amounts of development and focus. So it's really, while it might seem a little unbalanced, by the end, it's all pretty even, and they both get exactly the development that they needed. In the end, Run is a book about defining yourself and bucking expectations, and how that can be really hard and scary sometimes, but ultimately worth it in the end, and that's always the kind of story I can get behind. And that's what I thought about Run. If you've got your own opinions, you can feel free to put them in the comments below, or you can just pop in to say hi. If you want to check out some of my other content, you can like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and you can also hit me up on my social media accounts, which I've also got posted below. And so until next time, I'll see you all later.